Hello, everyone. As the rest of the day goes on, the clouds that we have pretty much everywhere are going to turn into more consistent showers and some storms. Those are going to cause some rather strong wind gusts, and flooding is likely in some spots. Hail could happen, but isn't exactly likely for us. And the main tornado risk is pretty well off towards our west for today. Now, looking at the last 24 hours of rainfall, quite a bit has come across all the way from Louisiana going into Florida with some of those heaviest rains further down towards the south. If we can get a good sample, see what some of that in Florida and Georgia was, around 5.6 inches as the heaviest of the rain came through. Now, it's not going to be quite that heavy for us, but we are going to see it stack up pretty decently even in the course of 24 hours. And adding what we have on Friday on top of that will put some spots in a flooding range. Once we get to about 10 a.m., rain is really spreading towards the north with some heavy rain in the NRV. That's going to be our first real chance of some storminess that between 10 and noon. After that, it moves up towards the northeast, and it weakens somewhat, so that helps to use up some of the energy that we have. Might get a warning out of that, but doesn't look like it's going to be a whole lot. Once we keep on going through the afternoon, then our next system approaches from the west. That's going to be a little bit more widespread for those storm chances, lasting between about 7 and 10. After 10 p.m., it really moves off towards the east, and we don't have much left over going into Friday morning, but it will come back later on Friday. Our rain is going to be highest from parts of Patrick and Henry County all the way up towards Highland and stretching towards Nelson County as well. It kind of spreads out. It gets further towards the north and east. Some spots there could get up towards 2, 3, maybe 4 inches. I don't necessarily think we'll see a lot of spots higher than that, but 4 inches of rain in one day is quite a bit to come through. So be prepared for some flooding in the Highland zone in particular, especially on the Virginia side. A lot of times when we're talking about that, it's something going on the western side, but looks like more of the threat is going to stay on that eastern slopes this time. We haven't had too much rain come through in April. It's not super far below average. We're still at about an inch, and last month we stayed under 3. So we're going to be able to get higher than last month, probably from today alone. Thankfully, in the last 6 days, we haven't had too much rain, so there's not a lot in the ground already that we're going to have to contend with. Despite that, that level 2 flood risk extends through our region all the way from parts of North Carolina up into Pennsylvania. On Friday, it's well up towards the northeast, so much lower flooding risk for us. Today, temperatures are pretty close to the 70 mark. We don't warm up, we don't cool down too much, just kind of steady through a lot of the day. And then tonight, we do lose some heat, but we're able to stay around 50, which helps us warm up tomorrow, despite colder air coming in. Temperatures are only able to get to the 60s for a lot of spots, some even into the 50s, but we do a nice job warming up with 70s and 80s as we get into next week. Our next chance of showers arrives on Wednesday.